This is not understood, but it's becoming a more common disease than ever before. There have been some recent developments in science that I think are likely to increase the interest in carcinoid diagnosis and research, and perhaps attract more outstanding scientists to the field. It's been recently recognized that GI hormones have a pivotal role in common major health problems in the USA. Two of these are very widespread: diabetes and obesity. It was discovered a number of years ago that insulin-producing cells in the pancreas are regulated by intestinal hormone cells, making the pancreas an important target, and has led to the development of some novel therapies for diabetes. Furthermore, it's now been shown that intestinal hormones directly act on the brain, in particular parts of the brain that are involved in the regulation of food intake, whether it's to eat too much or too little. And this certainly has important implications for obesity, which affects a major part of the United States population. Without going into a lot of detail, this is just schematically illustrated here, the role of gut hormones in the brain. This wiring diagram shows that in the colon, there's a hormone that acts on the hypothalamus, where food intake is regulated. The stomach secretes a major hormone, ghrelin, and in addition, there are hormones secreted from fat tissue and the pancreas that all affect this appetite regulation center. And there isn't time to go into greater depth now, but this is a very, very intensely studied area now. I want to say a little bit about my own research interests. I've spent most of my career studying the properties of gastrointestinal endocrine cells. And at this point, we believe that little is known about serotonin-producing endocrine cells in the GI tract, the very cells that are supposed to give rise to carcinoids. The lighter lab studies differentiation of GI endocrine cells. This is the process where specific genes are sequentially turned on at just the right time and place to make a cell become a serotonin cell. An important feature of these cells is they become differentiated as they usually stop dividing. In contrast, cancer cells have mutations that don't block the ongoing uncontrolled cell division that doesn't take place in mature cells. So there's a little bit of a contrast here, but these are intimately linked to the kinds of studies currently underway in my laboratory. There are several genes that have been identified that have a role in the development of gastrointestinal endocrine cells. These are three related proteins, a very early one called MAF1, neurogenin-3, and neuro-D, with neuro-D really being the very latest stage of differentiation of endocrine cells in the gut, and for practical purposes, neurogenin-3 being a very early stage. Without going into a lot of experimental details, to try and determine where these cells come from, we did a cell marking experiment, which is schematically illustrated here, to identify the cells that come from neurogenin-3. They're shown here in blue. This is a way that cells are permanently marked so one can find out where they came from, irrespective of what they become. And what we found is neurogenin-3 expressing cells can occasionally become enterocytes, non-endocrine cells, but most endocrine cells appear to arise from neurogenin-3 cells. However, there was one exception to this rule, and that's shown in the rightmost part of the panel here, and that's the cells that make serotonin. About half of the intestinal cells that make serotonin do not arise from neurogenin-3, but probably from a novel and previously uncharacterized pathway. It's interesting because these are potentially the very cells that cause carcinoids or become carcinoids. So, having told you a little bit about some of the interests of our laboratory, I'd like to say a little bit about the future. We would like to determine what genes activate cells to become serotonin-producing cells independently of neurogenin-3, and then ask the question, can we identify a genetic signature for each of these two kinds of cells? We hope to develop a sorely needed animal model for carcinoid tumors, which at current doesn't exist. We would like to determine why neuro-D cells don't respond to signaling to become tumors, and what does that have to do with carcinoids? And which of the serotonin cells give rise to carcinoid tumors? The ones from neurogenin-3, the neurogenin-3 independent ones, or who knows what? Many questions need to be answered. At this point, I'd like to acknowledge the people who made this work possible. My research would not be possible without the generous support from a research grant from the Caring for Carcinoid Foundation. I think it is especially important to point out that with the NIH budget shrinking, that many projects go unfunded and many promising scientists are leaving the field. It's especially important now that, that people help support foundations like Caring for Carcinoid to help ensure that this work and other work related to carcinoid will flourish. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lauren Erb, and I'm honored to serve as the Executive Director of the Caring for Carcinoid Foundation. Having lost family members to cancer, I am thrilled to be part of such a groundbreaking organization that supports not only patients, but their friends, family, and caregivers as well. Like many of you, I was struck by Nancy O'Hagan's story, and in particular of her aggressive, focused path to a cure. Since inception, the Caring for Carcinoid Foundation has already awarded over $2 million to leading scientists whose research is already making great strides. As a lifelong swimmer and former MIT swim captain, I am excited to lead our first ever team in the Swim Across America Boston Harbor Swim. This year's team includes not only my former teammates and friends, but also, amazingly, leading neuroendocrine clinician Dr. Matthew Kulke. I am excited to swim with Dr. Kulke and my friends to raise much-needed funds and awareness for carcinoid as part of this amazing event.
All right, so we're here at the Swim Across America Boston Harbor Swim. We just spent a whole day out on a boat. We had a great day. It was a lot of fun, and we look forward to doing the swim in the future. We had a great team of MIT swimmers, master swimmers, Dr. Kulke of Dana-Farber, and a lot of other enthusiastic people. We raised over $10,000 for the Caring for Carcinoid Foundation today, so we're really grateful for everyone's support, and we look forward to doing it again next year.
This year will be the Caring for Carcinoid Foundation's third year participating in the Pan Mass Challenge. This event has been highly successful for us, and each year we raise over $250,000. This year in 2008, we have a 51-member strong team that we hope will raise $300,000 for carcinoid and related neuroendocrine tumors research. For those of you that bike, this is a great opportunity to get involved with the foundation. It's an incredibly fun event. It's a fun-filled day spent riding with your teammates and other supporters, and it's really a truly memorable experience, and all those that have participated have nothing but great things to say about it.
We just finished the ride, and I'm so grateful for my teammates. We have two here, Jeff and Leslie, and the other 49 riders. I'm so grateful to everybody for really pulling together for the Caring for Carcinoid Foundation. We couldn't do it without the riders, and I know all of us are really rooting for members of our team who have carcinoid and neuroendocrine cancer. And I know for me, my dad's spirit was riding my handlebars, and I'm just so grateful for this event and what we can do for the Caring for Carcinoid Foundation.
Hi, Craig Berkson. Awesome day. This is an incredible event. Caring for Carcinoid is really an excellent cause, and it's great to be able to ride for it. And team members have been great, and it's really just helped so much to have people who knew it was going and cared about the same cause to really come together. I've learned a lot about the carcinoid that I've got and the kinds of things people are working on, and really looking forward to raising money and finding a cure for it. So thanks, and hopefully we'll do this again next year.
It was an awesome ride. Michael Coburn, and I'm riding for my wife Heidi, who's a carcinoid survivor. And we had a fantastic ride, great weather, great day, first century, and I had my brother-in-law here, John, from San Diego, came in to do it with me.
My sister's Heidi, she has carcinoid, so I'm here to support her. It's been great fun, great day, met lots of great people.
We're also so lucky to have sponsorship from people who are willing to write us checks for $20, and we have organizations like Molecular Insights Pharmaceuticals that's really willing to put their money out there, as well as other sponsors who back us and make it possible for us to have these great shirts and to do this ride. So really grateful for that.
Oh.